Hello and welcome to the 2026 Inherited Manor Challenge. This year, the manor is a castle and I am so excited. In this video, I'm going to explain the gist of the challenge, how to use the save file, how to use the gallery download, how to create your household, how to actually get started playing the game. I'll add some tips and tricks and frequently asked questions along the way. You'll start with a brand new sim, no skills, you'll cheat out their money, you're starting with literally nothing, and when you move into the manor, every year you start in a room and then you can only use that room. You cannot leave that room until the room is complete. Now, you can leave the lot and go get a job and stuff like that, but let's say you're starting in the entryway. You can only use the entryway. You can put whatever you want in there, but you can't go use the kitchen that's already on the lot until that first room is done. Each room will have its own requirements. They may or may not have a monetary requirement, which would be the amount of simoleons that the room must be worth to be considered complete. They will have cleanliness requirements where everything in the room must be cleaned up, fixed from burn damage, repaired if it was electrocuted or gnomes got to it or whatever. And there may be functionality or furniture requirements as well, such as the kitchen must have a refrigerator, an open counter, a sink, and a stove. All of these requirements are listed very clearly as the story progresses throughout the rules. Some rooms have additional challenges to meet, such as hosting a gold level dinner event, which will again be explained specifically per room. So now that you know what the challenge is about, let's talk about how to play. There are two ways to get into the manor. The first one that I recommend most is the save file. Every year we build up the save file, we put all the furniture in, we make it all look all nice and pretty, we take screenshots, and then we burn it all down. The save file is the only way to maintain that fire damage. However, due to the way the game works, you must have every single item in the build in order for that burn damage to stick. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So, to use the save file, you must be playing on a computer. You cannot use a save file on console, unfortunately, and you must have currently installed and enabled the Royalty and Legacy expansion pack, Life and Death expansion pack, Jungle Adventure game pack, Romantic Garden stuff pack, and the Courtyard Oasis kit. So those are the 5 packs that you have to have currently installed and enabled on your computer for the save file to function properly. If any of those are not true, if you're playing on console, if you're missing one of those packs, or if you just don't want to deal with the fire damage, you can use the gallery download instead. And it will be following the exact same rules throughout the challenge. It's just your source of where you get the castle and how the castle looks when you start playing is slightly different. In the rules, in the social media posts, wherever I'm posting anything, you're going to find 2 links to get the save file. The first one is for simfileshare.net. The second link will be to Google Drive. That way, if one or the other is not working, you have a backup. When you click that SimFileShare link, this is where it will take you. Make sure that this says slot_20260602. That is, of course, the date of upload because it's easy for me to track it that way. Click download. You want to download this into your Sims 4 save folder. To get there, go to Documents. You're going to find Electronic Arts, not EA Games. That's different. Electronic Arts, Sims 4, Saves, and this is where you can save it. Now it says right here, right slot_20260602. You may want to check and make sure that you don't have a save with that number on it. And if you do have a duplicate, well, I'll show you what that looks like next. Go ahead and click save, and there you go. Your download is complete. Now, if you click the Google link, it will bring you here into the drive. Click these little dots that say more actions, and then click download. Here's what this will look like if you're trying to download a file that has the same number you already have. You will see a little number 1 in parentheses. Super easy to fix. Just add a different number at the end and save. Changing that number will not change the file at all. It does absolutely nothing other than help your computer stay organized. And now you can open the Sims. Next thing we want to do is click load game. Do not click resume game, it will mess you up. Click load game, and the file name will be Inherited Manor Challenge 2026. Now, of course, I have 2 because there's the one that I downloaded from SimFileShare. You can see that slot name there, and this is the one I downloaded from Google Drive where I changed the last number. You can see it changed absolutely nothing else. Now from here you can click play. Because I only had 5 packs installed, if you have additional packs that make things happen, such as seasons, you will need to select a season when you load into the save file. Do whatever you want, I don't care. I'm going to go with summer because then the plants will be green and that looks better for my videos. The world we're playing in is Ondarian. This is the world that came with the Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy, and your lot is right down here on the Damble Palace lot. We're going to go into build mode just so I can show you what the lot looks like, but I'm going to do the household setup separately after I show you, like as a separate chapter in the video, after I show you how to do the gallery download. So this is the level of burn damage damage that you can expect to see when you place the lot from the save file. Look at all that. It's nasty. Your sim will have to go through and replace, repair, and or clean all of these broken, burned, and damaged items. Anyway, not everybody's able to play with a save file, so let's talk about how to get that gallery download. If you have Royalty and Legacy and you're able to build in this world, I definitely recommend it. This is where you would want to build. You'll need to evict your household by clicking More, then click Evict Household, and now we can move into this lot and place the lot. However, if you do not have this world and you still want to play the challenge, that's fine. Keep in mind some things will be replaced when you place the castle, so you may need to replace some windows or wallpapers or just make it part of the challenge, you know? But any 50 by 50 lot will work. So we're going to go into build mode. Technically, you can just build right from here, but I find the game bugs less if I first bulldoze the terrain and then bulldoze the lot and then place the new build. Open the gallery and you're going to want to look for gallery ID Sam and Bean. You can also search by lot title, which would be Inherited Manor 2026, or by hashtag IMC2026. Go ahead and place the lot. Content not installed. You're probably going to get this message. Now, I know this is baloney because I built the lot, so clearly I have the content. If you have the packs, you have the stuff. It's fine. Now, if you don't have the packs, then yes, stuff will be missing, but you're smart enough to figure that out. You already knew that. If you have all the packs and you get this, don't panic, it's long. Place it furnished, wait for about 4 years. I'm kidding, it was only about 30 seconds, and here you go. Here's the castle. So this is what the gallery download should look like. Again, if you're missing packs, you might be missing things. For example, if you're missing the Oasis kit, you will not have this floor texture. It'll be replaced with something else, or possibly just concrete. But you can put in different floors. No big deal. It's all good. And that's how to place from the gallery. For the rest of the video, I'm going to be playing in the save file just because that is the recommended way to play. Just remember that everything from here on out applies to both save file and gallery download players, aside from, as I mentioned, you might be missing a couple of the items. And now it's time to create your sim. Use this button in the lower corner, create new household to move in. This is how you enter create a sim from the map view. Now when you're creating your sim, you can do any genders, expressions, occults, anything you want. However, they cannot be dead, so you cannot create a ghost, and they must be a young adult. Also, you may not use story mode because they must come into it with no skills. Now, if you're following along and reading the rules, you noticed that there's a hard mode. For hard mode, you're only creating one sim. However, because this challenge is so big this year, we thought we'd let you start with 2 if you really wanted to. Your first sim will be your main sim. Your second sim will be your advisor sim. You may not at any point have a romantic relationship with your advisor, but they can do pretty much everything that you can do. They can earn money, fix things, clean things, repair things, take political prisoners, all that good stuff. So I'm going to use Tiana here as my primary sim, and I'm going to have Mulan be her advisor. These are 2 of my favorite Disney princesses. I made them in Create a Sim a long time ago, and I thought I would save some time today by just bringing them in from the gallery. When you're all set in Create a Sim, click play. You can rename your household if you want to, and once you load back into the world, you're going to notice that your lot has a yellow line around it. That means you can't afford this with the build, but you can afford the empty lot if you bulldoze it. We can fix this though. Open your cheat bar by pressing Ctrl-Shift-C on your keyboard, or pressing all 4 trigger buttons on your controller if you're playing on console, and type in free real estate on. Close that cheat bar again, and you notice everything has a green outline now. That means we can move right in. After you've clicked the lot, click confirm, make sure this says furnished, that's important, and purchase home. And this is your first impression of your beautiful, beautiful castle. One last thing to do before the end of this chapter of the video, and that's to set our money to 0, because this is a rags to riches challenge after all. Press Ctrl-Shift-C. If this is a new save file that you've just created, you will have to turn on testing cheats first by typing in testing cheats, all one word, and then space and on. Once you enter that, you should get a confirmation that cheats are enabled. Now you can type in money, 0, hit enter, and congratulations, you're poor. Ctrl-Shift-C again to close that, and we are good to go. That concludes the household setup portion of the video. Let's talk really quickly about your options, specifically your game options. There's a lot of stuff you can change in here. You can change autonomy, you can change your social menus, you can change aging, you can change lifespan. Do whatever you want. Same with environment. Have a lunar cycle, or don't. Have rain and thunderstorms, or don't. Opt out of fame, NPC voting, rental units, enchanted by nature disease. Whatever you want or don't want, go ahead and adjust it here. While we're here, let's talk about mods and custom content. I don't have any problem with you using mods and custom content. I have a couple of mods I use. However, for the spirit of the challenge and to get the most enjoyment out of the frustration, I recommend not using any mods that are going to be too overpowered. Let's talk about how to actually get started once you're here. Your gameplay settings are where you want them. Your sims are looking fly. You've read the rules and it's a lot of rules and you're feeling a little overwhelmed. Let's just play through the first couple of rooms rooms together. A fun part of this challenge is trying to make the most of whatever room you're in, because you're not able to leave it and go to other rooms. Some of this can be accomplished through severe micromanagement. Some of it may need to be accomplished by simply removing doors or locking them. Locking doors should work. In live mode, you should be able to click a door, click lock for, and then set whatever you want to lock it for, but that doesn't always stick, especially when you leave the lot. So if that doesn't work, just go into build mode and delete the doors. So I'm going to go through and lock these entry doors for everyone. Now for this year, you do have to start in the barracks, and your second room will be the dungeon, which is down here. After that, you are free to play in whatever order you want. So let's rock and roll. We've got a lot of mess to fix. I don't have any money to replace the furniture objects yet either, and we're probably going to be hungry soon. Oh, and we also don't have a functioning toilet because that burned. So we're literally just starting with a sink. Wow, this is rough. Whoever designed this challenge is a horrible, mean person. So anyway, yeah, this is how you get started. You get in, you start cleaning, you figure out what you want to do with your life. You're going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of this. Right now though, we need money. I would like to point out this lot over here. This is a market lot, so we're going to travel over here, and I'm going to have my Sims start earning some money, and then I will sort of talk you through other ways that you can earn money. I'm going to have both of them practice singing, and as Sims pass by, they'll give them tips and whatever. So speaking of tips, you can earn money however you want to, so long as it's in the game. Singing and playing instruments is a great way to start out because you don't need to put any money into it. You could just start doing it and get tips. However, it's also very, very slow. You can get a job. That's another great entry-level option. You can go fishing or hunting for collectibles and sell them out of your inventory. You can go to markets like this and sell things on the market tables, which I'm going to show you how to do if you haven't done the yard sale tables before. Depending on the packs you have, you are also more than welcome to create rental units or bring in roommates. However, you have to actually have a place for them to rent. You can't just throw a cot in the garden and call it a day. You can also create a small business on your lot if you want to do that. However, keep in mind that you cannot do small business and residential rental on the same lot. You gotta pick one or the other, again, depending on your packs. None of this is required to play the challenge. If you have island living, you can also do odd jobs, which is a super great way to get some money put together. If you have get to work, you can purchase a retail lot and set up a retail store. All right, we have money. Fantastic. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to cook something that has multiple servings. We'll do some brownies so that we can each take a serving, and then I'm going to put the rest of the servings on the sales table so we can do a yard sale and sell our brownies and earn more money that way. Again, this isn't exactly what you have to do. This is just an idea to get started, especially if you're newer to this style of challenge. We're just going to pick up every individual serving off the plate. Now in our inventory, we have a handful of brownies. We're going to give one to Tiana so that she can eat because she's hungry. And then Mulan, after you eat, click view inventory on one of these yard sale tables and plop your brownies or whatever it is you have on you right in there. Stock the table. Then we're going to click tend table and then start yard sale once we're tending it. Start yard sale right here. There are tables exactly like this here in Royalty and Legacy, as well as Jungle Adventure, City Living, whatever the gem pack is called. I can never remember what it's called, and Eco Lifestyle. Now, if anybody would like to come to my yard sale, that would be incredible. Oh, we got one. Oh, we got one. Okay, as your charisma levels up, you can give a sales pitch and it'll have a higher chance of landing. And we sold a brownie for $2. And it cost us 7 to make, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So $3 of profit total. If we can sell all of these, it would have been more if we didn't eat part of it. But that's how yard sales work. Let's see. Mulan, do you have enough energy where I could use you to show off where some of the collectibles are in this world? Let's see. It's not a terribly collectible heavy world, but there are some trees that you can harvest fruits from, like this plantain tree. There are a handful of fountains where you can grab frogs. So there are some places to grab things, but if you really want to go collectible hunting, I recommend checking out the parks either in Willow Creek or Oasis Springs. So now we'll go back to the market, flop our stuff into the inventory, go ahead and stock the table, and then we will tend table and start a yard sale. And now we'll see if anybody wants to come buy our produce and frog. It looks like this stuff is selling slightly better than the brownies. Maybe the brownies were just really bad quality. Maybe that's what we did, because this is how yard sales usually go. So that should be more of what your expectation should be set at. All right, yard sale's over, so we'll clear the table, see what we have left, which is just one plantain, which is fine because we're hungry, so we'll eat it. And we're up to $151, which is not a lot. The good news is I can make that be as many monies as I want and pretend that we've jumped forward in time and show you how to start fixing up the rooms and meeting the room goals. Now that we have money, we can go through and get rid of objects or repair and replace them. If you would like to repair or replace an object, like maybe we really like this toilet, you should be able to select it and click replace, so you can do that for burned objects. You can also just remove them and replace them in build mode with something else if you prefer, by going into build mode and deleting stuff. Most Most of the rooms, I think all but 2, have a financial goal, and the only reason some don't is because they're outside and not actually a room like the garden. The financial goal for the barracks is $15,000, which means everything in this space here. I also have maps. Here's what it looks like on the map. So everything inside those lines, this is the barracks space. So everything in here has to add up to a value of 15,000 simoleons. Here's how to check that. First, select your room, then click the Save to Library button and click Room, which is the bottom option. You don't actually have to fully save it to your library. This is just so you can see the value here. Our current value of just the kitchen is 7,535 simoleons, so we would add that 7,500 to the sum of all these other rooms as well. Or, if that's annoying and too much work for you, you can also get rid of some of the walls so it all becomes one room and check the price that way. So right now we're at 12,432 simoleon value. Another thing that I'm letting you guys do, because a lot of these rooms are kind of small and squishy, is you can rearrange the walls inside the primary room, the capital R room, the area that you're working in. So I can replace any of these walls if I want to. I can also move the ladder if I want to, like you can move doors and stuff like that. But we cannot expand the space into another space until all the spaces are done. So I can't make this longer and take up storage because we're not working on the storage, we're working on the barracks. I cannot extend this into the tower because we're not working on the tower, we're working on the barracks. As long as we're here, I can get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to leave the swords because those are from the debug menu, and your sims are free to use those for sword fighting practice and all that jazz. Anyway, I can delete everything and then replan my floors. I could maybe bring in some electric lights. Wouldn't that be nice? And for furniture requirements, we need sleeping for at least 2 sims, a functional kitchen, functional meaning must have the minimum requirements you'd expect in such a space. We also need a functional bathroom, seating for at least 2 sims, which is anything a sim can sit on. And if you're playing hard mode, this is where you would find that advisor sim, that secondary sim to sort of help you out, but we're playing easy mode today. This is a cramped space, but I can get a fully functional bathroom, 2 very nice little bedrooms, and a kitchen, living, dining area set up in here just like this. And now, to see if my room meets the monetary requirements, I'm going to remove a couple of walls and do that method. Click the Save to Library, click Save Room. We're looking for at least 15,000 simoleons, and we are at 22,000. So we're good. We've met the requirements. And there's our first room done. Congratulations. And here we are on the next day, getting our sims needs taken care of and preparing to tackle the next room, which is of course the dungeon. Now, story-wise, you discover this ladder, decide to follow the ladder down, walk down this incredibly lengthy and treacherous feeling hallway, and eventually you come to a door which leads you to the dungeon. The requirements for the dungeon area, and here's what it looks like outlined on the map. Monetarily, it must be worth 40,000 simoleons. You must have 2 fitness skill activity items in this gym area. You have to have a solitary confinement room with a chair and only a chair. And then you can have as many cells as you want. I made 4, which is about the maximum you can do in this space, but each one will need to have a bed or some place for your captured sims to sleep, such as a bench. It'll need a sink and a toilet so that the sims can take care of their needs. They also need a lunchbox for cook meals so that they can eat, and then they have to have an exploitable skill, which is anything that the sim can just create and then leave there for you to come in and collect on. Easels are the most popular because sims will just paint and then you can grab the paintings off the easels and sell them. Once our sims are feeling good and ready to go, we can send them right on down to the dungeon and get them cleaning. We can replace some of the items down here with our hard-earned simoleons that I definitely didn't cheat if we want to, and we can go in and fix up these areas. Remember, you can also reorganize the walls if you want to. I don't particularly care that much about it in this space. I like the layout I have, but you can. The name of the lunchbox in the base game always has a snack bag, and it is in the miscellaneous activities and skills category along with the coolers, which serve the same purpose but take up a little bit more space, so I recommend the lunchboxes. And if we check the cost of the rooms, hoping for 40,000, and we are at 49,000. So we're good, and let's talk about how to gain prisoners. Now, for lore reasons, I recommend picking something or someone or some sort of trait or type that you hate. Redheads, beards, anybody wearing heels, just because it could be funny. Maybe even people that you just naturally don't get along with very well. But for exploratory purposes, I just need to meet some people. So let's go in and do some introductions. Now, this is going to be easiest if we meet people outside of our house and then bring them back to our house to complete the interaction. In order to collect a political prisoner, you must have a negative relationship with them and beat them. Now, you can beat them in a physical fight, you can beat them in a duel, you can beat them in a game of chess, anything that proves that you are in fact superior. And now now that we have collected quite a few Sims here, we are going to go back to our house. Again, this is for example purposes. You will find plenty of opportunities throughout gameplay to make this feel more natural and organic. So we're going to invite our target Sims over to our current lot, and they should show up out here. We are going to form a group, go here together. Now to keep everybody in here, I'm going to lock this door for everyone. Now, Tiana, your target is Brent. So we are going to try and play with Brent. Hopefully we can win. We'll want to keep an eye on that to make sure that we do. And then we'll have Mulan work on Leah here. Now for Leah, we'll insult, imply mother is a llama, all that good stuff. Maybe we'll argue about her career. That sounds good. And yes, chess victor from winning a chess match. So that means all we have to do is get a negative relationship with Brent, and then we can lock him up, which we should be able to do by just going through a whole bunch of mean interactions and all that jazz. And we now have enough of a negative relationship where we can fight. So we'll do that. Hopefully we come out victorious. If not, we may need to boost our fitness skill. And Tiana now has a negative relationship with Brent, which I definitely did not cheat at all. Let's go to actions. We are just going to put Brent in our group next, and then go here. And Mulan won that. Perfect. And then once Brent is inside the room, we will disband the group, leave the room, and then while Brent is still in there, then lock for everyone. Now, when you leave the lot, these Sims may end up leaving the lot, which sucks. But once you have them like on your list of prisoners, you can just lock them up again without having to go through the whole rigmarole again. You could just invite them over and lock them in here, use cheats to teleport them in there, whatever, I don't care. But you have to do it the honest way first. And now Leah is also trapped inside. Pretty much the longer you stay in the lot, the more time these guys will have to get bored and eventually paint so that you can sell those paintings. To increase the likelihood of me capturing that on video, I am going to invite over a couple more people here, and I'm just going to capture them the same way. All right, listen. It has been days in the game. My Sims still aren't painting. I even made a club specifically with painting and still nobody's painted. So yeah, I don't know what's up with the painting specifically. I've had it work before. If I figure this out, I will pin a comment down below with troubleshooting tips. Thankfully, that is an incredibly small part of the challenge. You can still enjoy all of this while ignoring everything that doesn't work out right. You have my blessing to just ignore the problems. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the challenge this year. I've loved building it as always, and I can't wait to hear back from you and see what you transform the castle into. Bye!